So, good evening, guys. We are doing a big call on mindset around winter this week. I don't know about you guys, to all of you that are based in the UK, it is freezing cold this week. We even had a bit of snow here in Kent today. I don't know if any of you guys got any snow, but it is bloody freezing and it feels like winter is truly here. And winter can be tough in a few different ways, but winter can also be actually a really good time of year when it does come to your health and fitness. So I want to talk about how to bulletproof your mindset in winter, give you guys tips and tricks so that you can take the cold weather, take the dark mornings and the dark early evenings in your stride and still make amazing progress, particularly as we're starting to get towards the end of the year, which I know is really crazy. I feel like this year's gone so fast, but we are coming to the end of the year. So it's about finishing this year on a high and going into 2026 also feeling amazing. That's the main aim of this call, really. So, first things first, the secret is that waiting for an easier season, sadly, isn't the answer. We know this. Winter's tough for many different reasons, but putting your health and fitness journey on hold in winter is honestly probably one of the worst things that you could do right now. And we're going to talk about why and how to overcome this. So, you are going to hear a lot of this over the next few weeks. If you're not already hearing it now, I know that I'm starting to hear grumblings of it, but you're going to hear a lot of people saying things like, now isn't the time, it's too dark, it's too cold, and I'll just start in January. The new year, new me crew. These are not valid reasons to not start something or to not continue on with your health and fitness. And this is also not valid reasons for you to let your goals slip. They are excuses. And if that does sound a bit harsh, I guess it is a bit harsh, but it is really true. These are just excuses that people bring out every year to kind of make themselves and give themselves validation onto why they're not taking action, why they're not prioritizing their health, and why they've stopped working towards their goals. I can tell you now that if you let these things get in your head, if you let these people that say this stuff to you get in your head, and if you keep waiting for the perfect time, or if you do use it as a reason to just stop what you're doing this winter, and especially as we come up to Christmas, if you keep doing this, you will spend every winter starting from scratch, or you'll spend every summer starting from scratch. And it's a difficult place to be in because if we stop, start all the time, that's when we don't make progress because we're just kind of constantly stuck in this like catch 22 of stopping and starting, which no one wants to be in. I know that I've been in a lot of situations like that before. As you guys know, I didn't start off as an active person. I started off actively hating exercise, I would say. I was one of those people that was always stuck in a rut of being like, why can't I make progress? Why can't I stick to this long term? And it is a really, really frustrating place to be in. It's so frustrating. It damages your self-confidence as well. So we want to avoid that. So if you notice this stuff being said, if you start to hear this creeping in, do your best to put it out of your mind and don't let it put you off game. So if you were to do that, this is what would happen if you wait to start again in January. First of all, you'll lose momentum. You might have been in a great momentum this year, but if you slow down now, you will lose momentum and you'll undo your progress, which no one wants, right? But I think the biggest thing, and I think the kind of the most, honestly, the most damaging thing about this is that you reinforce the identity of someone that quits when it's an uncomfortable situation. The more you pause, the more you give up, the more you let those thoughts, all those people saying the stuff get it in, the harder it is for you to restart. So this mindset is the identity of someone who does quit even when there's just like a little element of discomfort. Um, and I think what we've got to do is accept that there are going to be moments on this journey that feel uncomfortable. Does this whole process have to be like a huge grind where it's just painful from the get-go? It's miserable and it's unenjoyable? No, of course not. Like, we don't want that either. However, if you want to be someone that gets to your goal, if you want to be someone that is consistent at putting their health first and prioritizes their health and prioritizes themselves, you do have to be willing to embrace a little bit of discomfort. And discomfort does come in winter. So there does have to be an element of us accepting that and just getting comfortable with the fact that we are going to be uncomfortable at points on this journey. And it's to be expected. But the good news is that the people who embrace that discomfort, people who stay consistent now in the dark, in the cold, when they don't feel like it, when they feel unmotivated, they are the ones who get to their goals and they are the ones that become the healthiest version of themselves. Is it always the easy route? No, it's the harder route, but picking the uncomfortable choice or picking the hard choice now is going to make for a far more comfortable life in decades to come when you're older. So it's always good to really remember that. Uncomfort now, or discomfort now, sorry, creates comfort as we get older, which is where we want to be. Now, here's why your winter is actually your secret weapon. I know that right now outside in the UK it is absolutely freezing. Getting steps in is probably a little bit miserable, let's be honest, especially getting out there in the dark. But I want to flip that and show you why winter actually can be a really positive thing. So first of all, there's less social pressure, less fewer events, and also fewer disruptions. Obviously, I'm excluding Christmas. I'm very aware that we're about to go into December and like Christmas parties, meeting up with friends, meeting up with family, that's about to ramp up. But aside from that, like this month, January, February, even some of March before spring, it's actually a really good time because there are fewer events and there are fewer disruptions. I think that's actually sometimes a blessing because it's a really good time for you to really focus on building some good habits and some good routines that actually last. There's less external distractions and there is just you and your goals in a lot of the cases. What you don't need is more motivation. What you need is structure, and you need to embrace the winter as a time where strong mindsets are built. Motivation, we get it the wrong way round. We think that motivation comes first, then action follows. But that's actually not how our brains work. And it's been scientifically proven that isn't how our brains work anymore. What you have to do instead is flip that. It's not motivation first, it's action first. It's taking the action first. From that action brings motivation and brings inspiration. These two get muddled up, which is really easy to do, by the way. But what you've got to do is switch them round. So in those moments where you think, oh, I just need to be more motivated, you don't actually need to be more motivated. And if you are relying on motivation to pull you through, that's why it's feeling so tough. That's why you feel like you can't stick to things. You need to instead be willing to just take action regardless of how you're feeling. Even if it's not 100% perfect, even if it's not 100% effort, even if what you do that day isn't what you normally do. Let's say it's like less steps than normal, or you do half your workout instead of the full workout. Just taking that action first, no matter what it looks like, is going to be the thing that brings you that motivation after and is actually going to be the thing that pulls you through. So that's why winter is such a good time to build this because it is tougher. So the identity shift, you can't rely on motivation. What you need instead is to take action first, then feel motivated, but you also need more identity around this. So I want you guys to ask yourselves these questions. When spring comes round, who do I want to be? What do I want to be looking like? What do I want to be feeling like? How do I react to stress? How do I react to the people around me? Like, how do I navigate the world and like navigate my relationships, whatever relationship that might be? What kind of person do you want to be and do you want to show up as in the spring? That person that you're thinking of, let's say that you're on one side of the river and that dream version of you that's a few months from now is on that other side of the river and you want to get to them. That person that you want to get to, do you think there's someone that would skip workouts just because it's dark outside? Or wouldn't go to the gym just because it's a bit cold or it's raining outside? Would there be someone that will say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow or I'll just do it later? They're not. I can tell you that for a fact. And we know this, right? So, what you need to do is try your hardest to become that version now. Shift the identity, you then shift the behavior, and therefore you maximize and you shift your results. And that's what you have to be willing to challenge yourself on every time. Is it easy? No, especially not in the beginning, but it does become easy over time. And the good news is that it's like a muscle. The more you practice it, the better it becomes. So here's how to build winter habits that actually stick. I've talked about mindset with you guys. I've talked about kind of the theory of and what you need to do. But here's some actual practical things that you guys can do now to help you to build up good habits in the winter that last all year round, no matter the season. First of all, I want you to anchor your absolute non-negotiables within this program. What are your absolute non-negotiables that have to be ticked off daily that are going to move you closer to your goal? That is going to be the big four, really, are going to be training days, the days you get your workouts in, whether you train in the gym or at home, your workouts, your step target. It's going to be your tracking and your nutrition and your calorie awareness. And it's also going to be good sleep. Those four things are your absolute non-negotiables and the things that you should be committing to no matter the season. So I want you to anchor them first of all and really get clear on what those non-negotiables are for you, what is going to move the needle fastest for you and push you to your goal the fastest. Second thing, I then want you to set little micro goals. Sometimes when we have a really big goal, and like so many of you guys have got incredible goals, but they're long-term goals. Let's say, for example, someone's goal is to lose like 40 kilograms, for example, that's your goal. that is an incredibly exciting goal, but it takes time, right? It's going to take a while. And sometimes when we set a goal that feels quite far away, when it is far away, sometimes it can feel a bit disheartening because it's like, oh my God, I've got all of this to go before I get there. It's going to feel like a whole marathon before I have to get there. So to help with that, what we want to do is always just set little fun micro goals along the way, just to keep your morale up and keep those daily wins. Like you guys know, every Wednesday we get you guys to share Wednesday wins. And the reason why we do that is because we really want to show you guys how important it is to always be reflecting and finding the positives and finding the wins in your day. If you don't do that, this program can start to feel monotonous. It can start to feel a bit lonely, and it can also start to feel like there isn't anything positive, but there always is. So we want to keep your morale up by always celebrating the wins and also just making sure that you're doing things every week that you can tick off. So that might be you're going to get 3 workouts done this week. It might be that you're going to hit 7K steps a day on average. Even if it's not like, let's say if your step goal is 9K or 10K, even if it's not quite that, set the goal at 7. And 3 early nights, focusing on good sleep, good recovery, because sleep is the foundation of everything. Set those little micro goals along the way. Again, try to pick something that you think is going to benefit you the most right now. If you think that you've fallen off with working out and that can improve, then set the workouts as the goal. If you think, actually, I'm not really moving in my day at all, I'm sat at my desk, I'm sat at my laptop, not getting a lot of movement in, then get outside and go for a walk. If you feel like you're low in energy, which can happen a lot this time of year, by the way, with less sunlight, then really focus on your recovery and focus on your sleep, whatever you think you need the most of right now, and you know your body and you know yourself really well. And then keep your morale up with daily wins as much as possible. And I can promise you that me and Adam will help you guys with that. The third thing is I want you to focus on consistency over perfection. I will keep on saying this until the cows come home. Once you flip this and flip this mindset shift, it makes everything in this process so much more fun, and we really shed like unnecessary pressure that we're putting on ourselves. There's nothing wrong with holding yourself to a high standard and putting a little bit of pressure on yourself. Like that can be a very healthy thing because it means that you get stuff done. But if we are only wanting ourselves to be perfect, if we only expect perfection from ourselves, that's unnecessary pressure that I think then does the opposite and does a lot more harm than good, because you don't allow yourself to make mistakes. You don't allow yourself to be a human being. You don't allow yourself to live your life. And it gets in the way, and it really does affect your enjoyment of the program as well. Like, yes, we want you guys to be getting amazing results on this program, of course, but we also want you guys to be happy and want you guys to be enjoying the process as much as possible. And that comes from shedding the idea of perfectionism and just trying to be consistent. I've put here a 7 out of 10 week beats quitting for 3 months, and that could not be more true. Emily inside the program shared that really cool picture on the ladies group chat the other day. For those of you that haven't seen, or for those of you that are like listening back and haven't seen it, it said instead of what people think consistency actually looks like, and it's like loads of glasses of water and all the glasses are like perfectly full, then it has underneath it what consistency actually looks like. And it's lots of different glasses of water with different amounts of water in. Some are low, some are full, some are middle size, and they're all different. And that really is true. You're not going to win in this game by having to or needing to be completely perfect the whole time. You just need to be consistent, not perfect. So the 7 out of 10 week will be you being perfect for a few days and then just throwing the towel in. And it helps you to join the process more without unnecessary pressure, which I think is so important. The fourth thing, a big one, because all of you guys here, pretty much everyone on this program's goal is to lose weight. Not all, but most. Find the non-scale wins. Now, this is especially important this time of year because, and we're going to talk about more about December and more about Christmas in the next couple of weeks as we start to go into like Christmas party season. We'll do a big Zoom call on that, by the way. We do that every year, but we will definitely do that. But especially this time of year, with all the different social interactions that you're going to have, all the different plans, all the different Christmas events that you're going to do, the scales are going to go up and down quite a bit. Especially if you're someone that really does enjoy to have a drink, alcohol, all that sort of thing, different sleep. The scales are going to be a bit random, particularly in December. So now more than ever, I want you guys to make a really conscious effort to try and find non-scale wins. The scales, really, the reason why we get you guys to do weigh-ins, it's more for me and Adam, actually, more than anything, depending on obviously who your main coach is. It's more for us, actually, so that we know for a fact that we're moving in the right direction. We're getting you guys moving closer to your goal and getting you moving to where you need to be. Your scale weight, or how much you weigh, or what that number says, is actually the least interesting thing about us as people. Fully. And it says absolutely nothing about who you are as a person, and it doesn't affect your value as a person either. And I say this because the scale is going to go up and down all the time, particularly at this time of year. So it's really important that you guys, yes, you do your regular weigh-ins so that we can have the data and we can make sure we're heading in the right direction. But I want you to really start to notice wins and notice and signs that you're getting healthier, you're getting stronger, you're getting fitter, you're happier. All of these things, I want you to really find those because they matter way more than what a number on the scale says. And now more than ever, particularly as we're in the kind of the thick of winter and heading into Christmas, I want you to try and find those things. It could be anything. It could be clothes are fitting better, you're noticing a difference in your pictures, you feel happier, you're sleeping better, your energy's better, you're getting stronger in your workouts, you're lifting more weights, like your body's really changing, you're building muscle. There are so many other things that you're going to notice, and I want you to really find those because, again, it really helps with enjoyment in this process as well. As we know, the scales are going to do their own thing quite a lot. They're going to go up and down, so it really helps you to not get too bogged down by that and to find the joy a bit more as well. So, mindset reframe here. Difficult seasons, hard seasons, in this case, we're talking about the winter, they build strong people. Tough situations create tough people. So it's meant to be tough. Embrace that. No one ever develops resilience by staying in their comfort zone or staying comfortable. It would be great if that was the case, right? But that's just not how it works. You get mentally stronger every time you push through a dark and a cold evening. And the vice versa is also true. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you say you're going to get in the gym, you say you're going to meal prep, you say you're going to track your calories, whatever it might be. Every time you say you're going to do that and you don't do it, you do get mentally weaker as well. Like you become less sure of yourself. Your self-confidence gets a bit of a knock. And we don't want that for you guys. So always remember that. When other people do fall off, when everyone else falls off, that's your opportunity to separate yourself from the rest of the pack and make sure that that doesn't happen. But your future self will thank you for not giving up now and for not listening to the New Year, New Me crew and not letting them get in your head. So here are also just some extra practical tools that you can start to implement or keep implementing this winter to help you stay consistent. These are just little things that feel really insignificant in the moment, but they add up over time. So first of all, just plan your week every Sunday. I'm not saying spend hours and hours on your Google Calendar, but what I am saying is spend 10, 15 minutes organizing your week for the week ahead. For example, like using your virtual calendar to slot in when you're going to go to the gym or when you're going to get your workouts in, when you're going to do a little bit of meal prep, when you're going to track your food, all that sort of stuff. If you've got a meal out coming up, like acknowledging that that's coming up next week and making a game plan with myself or Adam to help you cater for that. Spending that 15 minutes is going to save you hours in the working week. And packing your gym bag the night before as well, like that's half the battle. You can just get up, get changed, and go. The same goes for just like laying out your gym clothes the night before, particularly when if you're a morning gym person and you wake up at 5:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. and it's dark and it's cold, that's going to really help. Keep your meals prepped, keep it easy. Pair your habits as well. So if you have got to get outside for a walk, and it's cold and it's miserable, if you have got to and there's kind of no other choice, pair it with something really enjoyable. So pair a 10-minute walk of getting some steps in with a coffee or with a tea, or go with a friend or go with your partner. Pair it with something that's nice and that's enjoyable. When you're in the gym, if you're really not feeling your workout, get your headphones out, put a cracking playlist on and get through your workout and just do what you can. If it's not the best workout ever, that's fine, but you got in and you did it, and that's really important because you're really not making you're not breaking promises to yourself and you're building up self-confidence. Always use your check-ins. You know, every week we go through your check-ins with you guys on a deal to detail basis. Use them. Do not suffer in silence when it gets hard. I know sometimes it's quite hard to admit that you might be struggling, and sometimes it can feel maybe like slightly scary to reach out for help. Um, but please know that you guys never have to deal with this on your own anymore. Like you've got us to support you. So always use your check-ins every single week. Keep yourself accountable. Reach out for help when you need it, particularly in the winter. And celebrate your effort and not perfection. Chase the consistency. Celebrate the wins of like getting the tasks done. Try not to just focus on being perfect all the time because it will affect how you feel this winter. It's unnecessary pressure. Celebrate the effort, celebrate the wins, look for the non-scale wins. The truth about success, to kind of wrap up, successful people in this game, when it comes to health and fitness, don't have more time. They don't have more motivation than you. They just kind of have higher standards. They will say things like, it might be cold, but I'm still going to go out and get a walk in today. It might be dark, but the plan doesn't change. It's not perfect, but I'm showing up anyway. This is how you do build a bulletproof mindset. It's not about like everything having to be like a complete grind and like painful and uncomfortable, but it is about sometimes being willing to embrace discomfort and accept that it is going to be a bit part of the journey. But the good news is that you grow so much when you do that. So your challenge this week, what I want you guys to do, particularly as we're kind of at Wednesday at the midweek point, I want you to pick one thing that you have been putting off doing this week. No judgment, whatever it might be. If it's the gym or your home workout, if it's been meal prepping, if it's been steps, whatever it might be, I want you to pick something that you've been putting off and I want you to do it. No negotiations and no conditions. Just get it done. Even if it's not full force or like full effort. Success loves speed. I put that in there because most of the time, people that are successful just get stuff done and just get it done fast and don't worry too much about the outcome. I don't worry so much about it not being the perfect conditions. They kind of rip the band-aid off and just get something done. If it's not perfect, who cares? Getting it done is the main thing that counts. Once you've done that, I want you to then reflect on how it felt to follow through. Like, how did it feel that you didn't want to work out, but you got something done anyway? It will feel fantastic. I can tell you that for a fact now. It always does. You have such a sense of pride and such a sense of self-accomplishment that I personally don't think you can really get from many other places. Once you've done that, you'll start to notice that your self-trust and your self-confidence actually skyrockets through the roof. And that's what I want you guys to really try this week. The final thing, consistency now equals confidence for life. And I want you guys to always remember that. Tough situations create tough people. And the effort that you put in now will pay off, even if it doesn't feel like it's instant. Delay that gratification, it will pay off for years and years to come. That's everything I wanted to go through you guys with this week. If any of you are struggling in terms of mindset and motivation right now, I want you guys to reach out to either myself or to Adam, whoever your main coach is. You know we're always here to help. And I really hope that this has helped you guys if you are someone that's struggling. So I'm going to let you all go. Thank you everyone for coming live. It's been good to have you and have an amazing rest of your evening.